Hi friends, this is Ree. I'm going to do a tea with Ree today. I'm actually drinking the Yogi tea, Egyptian licorice tea. It's one of my favorite teas. And my tea tag, which I love these teas because they have these little positive affirmations, says forgiveness is an act of consciousness. And that is true. Being able to forgive is a sign of consciousness. But we always want to remember that while it is important to forgive, and forgiving others is allowing ourselves to have peace in most situations, it is also important to have boundaries in certain situations and not allowing harmful people to continue harming us. So don't feel bad if you have to have boundaries in order to heal. With that said, today I'm going to do a 3-card pull for you guys today from the Shamans Dream Oracle. And I did use this recently. This is by Alberto Villoldo. I'm so sorry. And Colette Baron Reed. This is a Hay House deck, and I do very much like this deck. It has some really beautiful cards in it, and I love the snap closure and the ribbon that helps you pull the cards out. So I'm going to pull those out. And oh, and it does have this really nice little, we are all sacred dreamers dreaming the world into being. And I very much believe that thought has a lot to do with what we create in our lives. So, okay, so we have our cute little book, and I'm going to lower this so you can see the little stones that I pulled out. I actually just did a unboxing video where I added these stones. Came from the Healing Sanctuary. So we have a moonstone pyramid, a desert rose selenite piece, also called gypsum rose, and we have an aventurine pyramid, green aventurine pyramid, a lucky stone. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle some cards, and you can kind of feel which stone you feel pulled to. This card wants to come out down here. Okay. Okay, green gets 2. All right, so let's see what's going on here. So this one, ooh, Sky Bridge. I was just talking to somebody about this. Being this bridge. Okay. All right, so this one is going to be Dream Thief, refusal of the call. Okay, I don't think I've seen that card yet. And actually, I'm going to move these down a little bit. Looks like I'm off just a little bit here. Okay. Wow. Overwhelm and plenty, overflow. That's this one, and the Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. That's interesting. Okay, so this has 2 cards. We've got the Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, and then overflow, overwhelm and plenty. So transmuting your pain into gain, maybe. All right, so that's interesting. Last time I did this with this deck, I had to kind of rush through the reading, so I'm going to kind of look at what the decks, or what the book says with these. So let's go with the Moonstone first, card number 47, the Sky Bridge. So I was just talking to someone recently because I had come into contact with a young spirit. Sorry, I had to take a drink. I had come into contact with a young spirit who was going to be coming back, and she had said that myself and my friend were going to be her grandmothers, and I didn't quite understand what she meant by that, but I think it's a bigger thing than I realized. And she had said that I was the bridge, and I understand what that means for myself, how I can communicate and kind of cross the veil in that way. But I think there's something bigger going on with the bridge, because the Native American children that I worked with back in October, September, August, well, late summer, early fall, they were talking about the bridge and how it needed to be repaired. And moonstone is a very feminine stone, and talking about healing the feminine. And I really feel that this bridge, healing this bridge, has a lot to do with the feminine as well. So I'm interested to see what this says. So the sky bridge, possibility for union, what needs to be connected or disconnected. You stand before a seemingly unbreachable abyss, and there is no possibility of retreat. The path behind you is no longer a viable option. You have to act soon, though, or you run the risk of being stuck at the edge of a cliff. Life has brought you to this moment to offer you as yet undreamt of possibilities. You must no longer postpone what you know to be inevitable. And yes, you are allowed a breath or two before you leap, so take a bit of time to yourself. Get away for a day or two to contemplate, or even for just a few minutes to walk and clear your head. Muster your courage so that you may cross the sky bridge. Sky bridge appears when the moment is absolutely right for a quantum leap. Life believes you are ready, even if you do not agree. Remember not to confuse your true state of readiness with your plans and preparation. Respond with a determined yes, and let the universe take care of the details. You need only to hold on to your positive affirmation, and the way will become obvious as you take flight and clear the abyss. So the way I see this is like two towers, two guardians, and taking this leap to the sky bridge, it's like a form of consciousness and connecting with Christ consciousness and that higher light consciousness that is found within yourself, but also reaches the highest form of consciousness within you, and your highest light being the divine within yourself. And the way that I've seen that is it is very much about finding union within yourself and the highest vibration of you, and it has a lot to do with healing the feminine and finding balance with the masculine. Okay, so let's take a look at the Desert Rose Stone, card number 13. 13 is an important number in my life. Let's see what we've got here. Dream Thief. Excuse me, one second. Dream Thief. Rejection of the path of fulfillment, refusal of the call. Sometimes I've felt like I'm calling out and trying to get people to listen, and nobody's hearing me. The dream thief is a soft and compelling seductress. Her only purpose is to keep you hypnotized by comfort and sameness. She wants you to tell your old stories over and over so you don't evolve beyond them. Ask yourself whether you are reverting back to the familiarity of your origin story, or why you are wounded, or when you were rejected. Do you talk about how your family molded you as a child without also acknowledging that you've already become someone else? Yeah, that one fits me. How does that feel to you? Teaching from an old wound will never allow you new adventure. Instead, bring to mind how you've already changed, remembering that you have new stories to rely on and build upon. Do you want to move beyond the barrier of glass you've placed between you and the horizon? You can, and it's not difficult. Answer the call to a new adventure and drop your resistance to sailing the uncharted seas of your potential. The wind will soothe and sing the dream thief to sleep so you can wake up and move forward. You are so much more than you know. Now it's time to express what has lain dormant. Your new adventure has already begun. So for me, a lot of light workers too, it's not uncommon to have a difficult childhood. And some of those same patterns repeated in my adult life, where I allowed others to shut me down or make me feel like I was less than or not good enough, or that I needed to step back and shut up, basically. And as a woman, that was part of it. I shut myself down a lot as a woman. And I think in some ways that maybe have been the beginning of my illness. In fact, the surgery that I'm having next week is a hysterectomy. And I have debated on talking about it publicly because I know in the spiritual world, a lot of people have negative feelings toward that kind of surgery. But for me, it's been a long process of making this choice. And I've decided, the surgery is the 15th, there's a full moon on the 18th. And I'm going to put all the negative energy that has been put upon me, all the hate toward me as a woman, all the negativity toward me as a woman, all the pain and trauma, and put it in those organs so that when they're removed, that is also removed from my life. And, it's something that I've been working on for myself. And I hope this is something that you can see for you too, that even if your whole life, or even if you're in a situation now where people around you are telling you that you're not good enough, or that so-and-so will never love you, or, when I was a child, I was told certain people in my family would never love me, or that the people I had grandparents and an aunt that were kind of like my sanctuaries as a child. And certain people in my life would get jealous if I seemed to like them more because they protected me. And so these people would say, well, your aunt doesn't love you, or she's mad at you, or, your grandparents only love you because you give them free labor when you work in the gardens for them. And, things like that. Those people, they were mean, and that's what I talked about in the beginning. There may be people that you need to have boundaries with. Those people were jealous, and jealousies can make people ugly. They can make people cruel and unnecessarily just mean. And it doesn't mean that they are unworthy of the love of God. It doesn't mean that they are unworthy of the love of the goddess. But it does mean that maybe they need to be limited in their connection to you for a bit. Because for some reason, they're mean to you. And you need to heal, and you need to be okay. And for you to do that, you need to limit your connection to people who aren't nice. And it's okay to make a safe space for yourself so that you can heal. And anyway, I hope that helps. So let's go on to the Green Aventurine here. So we've got 22 and 43. I'm going to move these down a little bit here just so I can. And if you're looking for these stones, they might not be in the store quite yet. I'm working on getting them in there, so thank you for your patience. So let's see, we had 22 first, Fool's Embrace, so let's look at that one. Transmuting pain, allowing life to love you, the experience of both land. The pain of life is sometimes unbearable. When we're in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven through our continuity of existence. We're kept hostage by the way we identify with the pain, and we make it mean. If we let it, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. No matter where the spectrum of pain you find yourself now, whether it be mild disappointment or searing loss, it's time to make peace with it. Befriend it, rather than resisting it, running from it, or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile. Can you see the gift that is here? Surrender to the Fool's Embrace, allowing the truth to envelop you in love and compassion. What if you could learn something amazing from this? What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in the loss, your broken heart might open you up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the Fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure and at the end when you've integrated all that wisdom you've accumulated along the journey. He will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life. Both and this and that will always be true. Remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today, as well as you feel the fool's embrace. Remember that today, as you feel the fool's embrace. So, yes, I mean, like I was just talking about, people who can be mean, and sometimes you need to allow yourself space to heal. But there may come a point where you see those people as damaged children themselves, and they are. I see the people that hurt me, and I know that they must have been hurt themselves. I see the families that they've come from, and I can see abuse that has happened to them as well. And it takes a very strong person to both stop the abuse and heal from it and make sure that it ends with you. And that's, I guess that's what it takes to transmute pain, to make sure that it can create a pearl of wisdom within you to know how to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Let's look at 43, overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. Too much, overwhelm, and plenty. So many good things are headed your way or are already occurring in your life right now. Yet you may be thinking that they're not possible or you're not worthy of them. Yeah, like we said, that can happen to those of us who've had some difficulty. Abundance is everyone's natural state before we project our restrictions on it. Defining what it means, who has it, who gets it, and so forth. Right now, take yourself out of your conditioning and look at your life through the eyes of plenty. There is so much beauty and love, opportunities and divine synchronicities destined to support your dreams. Abound and are lined up for you. Yet it's something difficult to discern it all because you're bombarded with too much information and stimulation, distracting you from the truth that all is well. Sometimes all this overflow can be overwhelming, and you may find yourself responding with empathy overload. Oh, amen. Empathy overload occurs when you tune into the collective angst and fear about impending changes and uncertainties. It's unmanageable. You feel like you're drowning in those emotions. It's time to allow yourself to detach, bring yourself back to your life, restore your faith in power greater than you, and remind yourself to focus on your smaller personal universe, which is much easier to manage. In this way, you know that you are a conduit for life's blessings and can share them with others, making this perception of overflow profoundly positive. Okay, so if you're feeling this, you might need to do some self-work, self-spiritual work. So maybe Facebook detox, internet detox. I was kind of frustrated because it's kind of a long story how it happened, but I can't access Facebook on my phone right now. And our internet has been acting really crazy, but it seems like it's a kind of whole world thing right now, or at least a country thing. But I have realized that, hi baby, I have realized that I think it was on purpose. I needed that detachment from Facebook. And I needed to kind of disconnect from world events and things that are going on. And, connecting with your own personal challenges doesn't mean that you're still not willing to heal things on the world stage, or trying to help others. I just made little cinnamon star ornaments for my family, and I put a blessing on those for love and peace and prosperity, protection and prosperity. And as I do things on even the smallest level, I put the intention that as I do this for myself, for my family, that love and prosperity and protection is expanded outward as well. So even when you're doing something for yourself, you can still by focusing on yourself and your family and your little universe, you can still put the intention that you're using yourself as a avatar or a catalyst for change outward as well. But even if you feel like you can't do that at this time, it's okay. Make sure that you're focusing on yourself, your family, and your own little universe first, because healing starts at home. Change starts at home. That's so important. And if you can't, one second. Excuse me. If you can't heal yourself, and I don't necessarily mean physical healing because I'm dealing with a physical illness myself, but if you're in a state of overwhelm yourself and you can't deal with it, then you're not in a place where you can heal and focus on the greater good. I hope that makes sense. I hope this message has been helpful to you, and this is not a weekly message or meant for a specific time. It's meant for whenever you find this message. And again, I hope it's been helpful to you, and if you're finding this message around the holidays, then happy holidays, and I hope you're blessed. Take care.